Hey guys, what's going on? It's Boss Fight coming at you in their CS:GO commentary. This one won't I won't be live playing really. Um, I'm actually gonna be re-recording it. This first time was like really long, really unnecessary, so I'm like cutting out half that part. I don't y'all don't need to know that all that shit. So, as the title for this video is tribute to Reese. What it is a tribute to Reese, my friend. Um, and I'm just gonna be going over like memories I had with this guy because he was like a G, still is a G. He's like really cool. I love him a lot. Like not in a gay way, but like a best friends way, you know. Um, so when I first met Reese, I was with my friend Evan and Michael, and we were like over at the like basketball area, like over by this middle school. We are like actually looking at like for a way to get on the middle school. But anyways, like we're just over by this area, and we just saw him like playing basketball, and Evan knew him at this time, but like I didn't, and I don't think Michael did. He might have, but like I don't think he did. Um, and so Reese just playing basketball by himself, just chilling, right? I think he was pretty good at basketball, I guess. Like he played it quite a bit, and that was genuinely like the first time, like the first time was really boring. Not gonna lie, because like we just saw him playing basketball, and then we walked up, and Evan talked to him about like some park he used to play at and stuff, and like how they want to like get back together sometime there, like because it was like pretty fun and stuff. But then the second time I met Reese was when we actually like became friends, right? Like actual like close people, it was actually the exact same setting except like 0 degrees. Okay, well it was like 20 degrees, but like it was so cold, and he was playing basketball just by himself, and he hadn't been playing there recently, but like it was just like random, like randomly he was playing there that one day, and so we just like we saw him and we met up with him, and I was like, oh, it's Reese again, look at that, wow, do you come here often? Not really, no. um and so we ended up talking a little, and he had literally nothing to do. It was 20 degrees, so he wasn't about to like go play some more basketball because it was like about to drop really cold. And so we all just like, all right, let's hang out. Like, not planned or anything, but like me and Evan planned to hang out, but like Reese, or like I think Michael might have been there. My friend Michael, he's like really cool. Um, we're all like chilling together, and we just decided to hang out like out of nowhere. Um, and so that was like the second, but also in a way like the first time we were friends, so like the second time I met him. So I thought I might include that. So I just remember like some special times like where we hanged out, and the first thing that comes to mind when I think of these times is this one time where we were hanging out with this we were hanging out still with Michael, I think. Yeah, definitely. And we're over at Randall's, all right? And Reese worked at Randall's, and Reese never really did anything bad, like as a high schooler, like he didn't smoke, he didn't vape or any of that, like which I'm not saying that's like bad. I'm just saying like as a high schooler that's not exactly legal. He didn't drink. He didn't like go to very many parties. Like he went to parties, but they were like with his friends, I guess. He was a football player, so I guess he was like kind of cool in a way. But I'm a football player, and I'm not the slightest bit cool. So I don't know. So he never really did anything like that, like out there. But the one thing that he did do was on time to time he'd shoplift for his friends, because like just why not, right? Like everyone does that, like except me and the rest of my friends, because we're goody two shoes. But like that's just a little bit of context for the next part, which is we were going to Randall's, right where he works, and you know we're walking with Michael, going to the back of the store, and we came across the alcohol section. And Michael's like kind of, like, fascinated in the fact that Reese like shoplifts from time to time. So he's like, he says one of the stupidest things ever. He says, theoretically, we could shoplift. Like, you're like, we could steal this alcohol. That's his words. We could steal this alcohol. And it wasn't like that was a stupid thing, although it's like a no shit Sherlock kind of thing. Like, yes, you can do it. It's still bad. Like, it's still frowned upon, I guess. But, you could do it. It wasn't really that comment that, like, was stupid, but it was the fact on how loud he said it. He didn't whisper it. No. He was within earshot of, like, 5 people next to the alcohol section. Just like an old lady, probably somebody who worked there and stuff. It was just like a bunch of people, and like at least 5 people heard us. And we all just looked at Michael and we were like, shh, 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 shh. Like, we all just started shushing him. Because at the time, that was funny as hell. Alright? Like, emphasis on the huh in hell. Like, yeah. So then, like, we were walking through the store, right? And we decided, let's, like, get something here. Because, like, we're basically loitering here so far. And, like it's cold outside and we don't want to be outside. But, like, we should get something. So we go to the candy aisle, right? It's like on sort of the other end of the store. And all of a sudden, we're talking like about what we're gonna get, and I'm picking up candy, right? Like, should I get this? Should I get this? Like, you know, filling it out with my hands. Like, what should I get? And then, like, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to put any of this candy back. Although I don't want like 90% of this candy. So I'm gonna just give it to Reese, right? Because he works there. I was thinking, he might stalk or something. Like, I didn't know he was a bagger, but apparently he's a bagger. But I was like, you know what, Reese, do your job. And so I just like handed him his stuff. And Reese immediately takes that like statement I said, and he's like, wait, do you mean steal it? Like, like not like that. You mean like, you mean do my job? Like, do my job. Like he keeps putting emphasis on it. I'm like I'm not really getting it. Like at first he was like, you mean do my job? I'm like, yeah, that's what I said. Yes. But he keeps like putting emphasis on that. And there are like a bunch of people around us. And we're like, what? Because what he meant was steal. And so, like, he's, like, getting paranoid. He's starting to, like, just stuff it in his jacket. I'm just like, no, 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 Reese, not like that, not like that. And so, that's kind of how that went. Another Randall's tale, which this one's going to be a 2-part tale. We'll tell it, like, different than I told it last recording. Which is, it's the middle of the night, right? This is really cold night. Same night as all the other stuff that's happened so far. And, we're chilling at Randall's, like in their like parking lot area, and we know that they have really bad security so far because like their maintenance ladder in the back was unlocked, and so like that was pretty funny because when we found that we were like, why do you leave this unlocked? Because we're dumb kids that like to trespass, but we didn't actually like go trespassing that time there. Like I did not have sex with that woman, at that time, but we realized that they have like bad security so far. So we're like, let's see if their doors are open. Like if we can just walk in there. And so we go over, we open, I try to open the first one, right? Because I'm doing all the door opening because no one else wants to go close to the door, and I'm like, I want to touch the butt like Finding Nemo. Um, so I go up to the first door, right, and it won't budge, and I'm like, oh, what a letdown. Go to the second door, start to like try to slide it open, and surely enough, that shit comes open. So I'm super excited. I run back. I'm like, oh shit, like that actually works. Um, so then we go to the like opposite side of the store and we open their door, right? We're like, oh, we're so cool. We can open doors. We're like, cool. We felt so proud of ourselves that we could open all those doors. So then we sit out in front. We're trying to figure out what we could do now. And Reese just turns his head and he sees these cookies, these sugar cookies. And we're hungry teenagers. And we want cookies. And there's cookies right there. So we're like, okay, let's go get those cookies. And I'm down for the plan, but I don't necessarily want to be the person who steals the cookies, because stealing is against my morals. I will do a lot of things. I'll do trespassing. I'll cuss a lot. I'll do like a bunch of stuff like that. But like cussing is like, that's too far, you know. I just find it to be a petty crime and stuff. Anyways, not taking the moral high ground here. But I am down to open the door for when we're gonna go in and get those cookies. And so I'm down for this plan, because it's a two-person job. Well, three people, because we have three people. One sits in the car and is the getaway vehicle, kind of like a bank robbery. One opens the safe, aka the doors, and one runs in and grabs the money, aka that was a dumb molly, by the way. Aka the cookies. God, I completely forgot what we were taking for a second. So I'm down for this plan. Reese is down for this plan because Reese was just gonna sit in the car. And we're now trying to get Evan on board. And we do some pure pressure stuff, like peer pressure. It's like we're not even trying to say, hey, we're not peer pressuring you. We're like, do the crack cocaine, like that kind of peer pressure, like just no sugarcoating. So then, just as Evan comes around to this idea that, okay, we're gonna go in, we're gonna do this, blah blah blah, fine. He's like tired. He's like half asleep at this point too. But he's finally with it, right? And so just as he's about to be like, oh well, let's go do it, like I'm hungry, and this bald guy that's working at the Randalls just comes like around to where the doors are open, and Reese hits the gas. Now we only went like up to like 30 miles an hour in a parking lot, really, but he did not want to, like he like took off so quickly while still being like legally driving the speed limit, just so that the people that worked at Randall's who were like might notice him don't get his license plate and stuff. So he takes off like that, right? And that's all fine and dandy. That's the first half of this story, right? Now, a couple weeks later, we go and hang out again, because there's a bunch of other stories that I'm going to get to later that just, we just decide this is a really fun story. Like, really fun stories that we had. And so, we come back a couple weeks later, and we know that these doors are unlocked, right? We've experimented, and we have figured out that we can just walk into Randall's. Now, we put this plan off for a very long time, because they're closed and stuff. But we're so bored at one point. we're just like, okay, fine. We're just gonna walk into Randall's. Sure, let's go do it. So we go in. Me, Michael, who wasn't there the last time, and Reese. We go in, and wait, me, Michael, Evan, not Reese because yeah, Reese was in the car because he didn't want to get his coworkers to see him because then he'd know that something was up. And so it's blatantly obvious that this entire place is like closed. Like it's blatant. Like we had to open the doors. So we go in, we open the doors, we like start walking through the aisles, and we see the first stalker we see. We're like, hey, is this place open? Like acting like ignorant, you know? Like we don't know what's happening. I hope this place is open. And so we go up, and as quickly as we were in there, we were out because that guy was like, "No, we're not open." And then he just like starts walking us back to our like 20 feet behind us, back to where we were at, like parked. Because Reese was sitting in his car, like parked this time. When we were doing the door thing, we were just like right next to the doors, like not really parked, like parallel. But so we run in just as quickly as we came in. We go out, and I was that was fun. That was because we were so ignorant at that time. Um, Next story is, oh yeah. So going back to the first night, this is also another two-part story. Um, we decide, it's been a long night. Let's like go try to sit somewhere and like figure out what we're gonna do. And we're not gonna sit outside because it's cold as fuck. So we decided to go sit in this gas station parking lot, right? And we're sitting here for like a couple of minutes. We can't think of anything to do. And so one of us has the idea of just messing with this one employee that's working there by just staring at him. And like every once in a while we'd send Evan in, and Evan would do something stupid like buy a banana or something. I don't remember. But he was like, we can't have y'all like no wait, what? They were just like we knew that we were loitering, and so like companies would be like, "Oh, we can't have you all here," right? But this guy acts a little different about this loitering instance, because not only we're loitering, we're also just staring at him, which makes him feel very uncomfortable. Um, and so we're staring at him. He starts, tapping like the desk he's working at and stuff. He's kind of getting embarrassed, so he just walks to the back of the store, so that we can't see him. And then a couple customers come in. He has to go to the front desk. We definitely see this stuff because who's gonna do like a deal in the back like that? That's just weird. Um, so we're like staring at him as these customers are getting their stuff, and he gets to a point where he just starts like telling the customers what's up, and like pointing at us and like talking. And so we definitely know we're in his head at this point, right? And so he's fed up, and he just comes out to us and he's like, "Hey, y'all can't be here," which is what any company would have said, right? And so we're like, "Yeah, okay, sure, yes, sir." And then I think Reese or Evan said, "Wait, can we get some like food first, right?" He's like, "Yeah, sure, sure, whatever." And so I then think, with the smartest brain I have, because I know we don't have any money at this point, what's the cheapest thing you'll have? Because duh, can't afford anything. Um, and he's like, "Oh, we have these 25 cents Reese's Pieces stuff, right?" He's like, "Okay." And so we just sent Evan in to go buy one, and then we left. That was really fun. Like I thought we were on acid too. There was like a bunch of the story. I just forget a bunch of it, and it's hard to like put into words. Um, part two of the story is same night as part two of the other story because we hanged out with Reese for 2 nights, two really memorable nights, which are the ones I'm going over. This time with Michael. Um, Michael was with us this entire night. Him and Reese are down for this really, really retarded idea that me and Evan think they're gonna get shot for, which is they're gonna go in to like they want to just go into a gas station and act like they're gonna rob the place, but not actually rob the place and not like making threats or anything, but just like be dressed as though they were going to, right? But like just act completely normal, like go buy their food. Well, we go to this guy, right? And it's the same person that was working at the gas station the first time. And me and Evan go in and we buy some stuff, and we just come back out because we're too nervous for uh, Reese and Michael's idea because they wanted us to film it, and we were like, no, that's kind of just the dick thing to film, and I would rather not be filming y'all's death. Um, but then, what's his name? They're like, you know what, we're gonna do it anyways. Fuck it, like y'all don't have to be part of it, right? Like because we were like, you can do it, but we're just not gonna be a part of it. Like it was like mutually agreeable that they can do whatever the fuck they want. Um, and so Reese and Michael go in, and me and Evan like watch from like the side in front of the store, but not actually in the store, on what happens. And they just go up, they buy their stuff. The guy doesn't overreact. Okay, now me and Evan are like, okay, that's kind of funny, I guess. Like it was funny with that guy just because he knew, who we were. That previous night before, he like he noticed us 100%. Um, but then we're like, okay, that was such a fun experience. Let's go do it again, but at a different gas station. So we go across the street, and there's an Indian guy working, and he's just like, he's just chilling, and me and Evan pull up. We go in first, like we did the first time, and we go to the or I have to go to the restroom because like I have to piss really bad. Um, Evan's just like chilling, trying to find something to buy because this time we do actually have money, and uh, and Michael. Michael and Reese, sorry, I just had a brain fart, come in right as I'm leaving the restroom. And as they enter, this Indian guy sees what they're doing and he loses his fucking mind, dude. Like, reasonably so. Like, we definitely encourage this behavior from him. But it was, that's me getting a kill, by the way. It was, it was, he just goes berserk. It was weird because, like, it was like, we were surprised that this man, reacted the way he did because he just like starts yelling at the top of his lungs, um, take the hoods off, like shit like that, because they're wearing hoods and a bandana and glasses to like conceal their face, like what somebody who was about to rob the place would do. And so then that happened, and then they took off their hoods, and then we bought a bunch of food, and then we went in the gas station ate. That's the second part of that story. Um, it was alright, I guess. It was just a thing. Another thing me and Reese did was, uh, so, uh, you know who Dude Perfect is, right? They're this, like, group that, goes for these insane basketball shots and stuff. Um, well, we decided to, like, act like them, kind of, like, they go for, like, extreme trick shots. They, like, shoot off roofs and stuff. We decided to do that, but at their school, I couldn't find the word for school. Um, except like we were like doing it with Reese, and Reese was taking basketball shots, and we like spent like 30 minutes illegally trying to do cool trick shots. That was fun as fuck because there was like a bunch of like stops that we had to do like because like trucks would pull by and stuff. Um, that was on the second night. Uh, oh, okay, two more stories. Both of these had to do with the first night. I'm gonna try to speed through these. All right. First story is that um, first story is we were going to we went to this Gold's Gym, right? And that's right next to Randall's, and we're over there, and we see we see this lever, right? And we're like, okay, I wonder what that fucking lever does, you know? Because it's like this big thing. It's next to like a bunch of stuff. We're like, I wonder what this does. Hopefully, it does something cool. Hopefully, it's not like not cool. Duh. So we see it, and we go over, and we're like, you know what? Let's do something in the name of science. So they have me pull this lever, and all the lights go out, and it was really fun. And then we come back and we're like, I wonder if that pulled all of the fucking lights, like all the lights, like in the building. And we pulled it again, this time like leaving it off. And you know those signs that were way out in front of the fucking buildings, right? This is the best play ever too. Is like those that are in front of Waterburgers and shit, like they're connected apparently with that lever. So when we pulled that lever, not only did that turn off, like the building, but the sign did, and so that was cool as fuck. And lastly, we had uh, it was at this quarry, and um, we went, and it was very cold, and it was really far away that the quarry was, and so I know where it's at. I tell Reese where to park and stuff so that his car wouldn't like be seen by a cop and just be like, huh, wonder what they're doing. So like parked in a parking lot. We parked like 5 minutes away from this really obscure entrance that like no one takes to this quarry, and so we like went over there, and then we realized how cold it is and how ominous it is, and so we turned around and walked the other way for 5 minutes, and that was a complete waste of time, and that was my fault. Actually, we didn't really walk back; we kind of ran. So I was like, yeah, because it was really cold. All right. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I just felt like obligated to make it because Reese was like one of my really close friends, and I just want to share some of the memories me and him had together. Uh, Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Fuck that. Do whatever the fuck you want. If you want to fucking leave an unlike, then go ahead. I would just rather you like leave a like because revenue that I don't get from YouTube because I don't have my PayPal hooked up to this is really low right now. So it's been your boy Ospi, and I'm saying see ya. Bye.